GM. I was trying to get the pump up tune to work, but it's not working. But the charts are pumping 100K. This has been the moment we've been cooking towards, and it looks like it's holding very strong. I'm stoked. How we feeling, Farmer?
Yo, what's up? I'm just a little bit under the weather today. Probably too little sleep this week, quite frankly. But super pumped to see 100K. I know Matt just messaged me. He said he can't hear, but Matt, he might have to just come up and down.
No,
Uh,
I can hear. No, Bunsy, you did a great farmer impression. I appreciate that. But what the fuck, man? I was expecting way more enthusiasm. We reached 100 fucking K, man.
Dude, that's fucking FUD. 100K is FUD. This is
I just love referring to the Kobe quote as just job's not finished. You can't celebrate right now if the job's not finished. I'm just heads down. I'm like obviously very happy for Bitcoin 100K to hit, but yeah, we got a long way to go. The best quotes, the best tweets that I've saw over the last little while are like Bitcoin is zero point 0.1 million. Unit bias is a big thing in meme coins, and Bitcoin's the biggest meme coin of them all. We got to start either pricing these things in sats, or we got to start pricing these things in millions, because yeah, it's going to be a little bit wild. I guess the other part too is like gold. Like, I was just thinking about this. Like the comparison to gold has been happening more recently with Bitcoin price, Bitcoin itself as an asset. I think Jerome Powell, the Fed chair, said that Bitcoin is not a competitor to the US dollar. Disagree on that side of things, but he said it's more of a a competitor to gold itself. Thought that was pretty interesting. The gold comparison starts to come up more and more. Look, I love my gold jewelry, my digital gold jewelry on the gold chain. Look, I think if you're comparing ETH, everyone's saying ETH is silver, but do you want silver jewelry or do you want gold jewelry? And if the answer is gold jewelry, why isn't our gold jewelry trading higher than this silver shit right now?
no, one thing that I did see yesterday too, there was a bunch of like cool recap videos of just, yeah, I'm lucky. I just held through all this shit. But there was this video of Putin, just like literally a dictator being like, nobody can control Bitcoin. Like it just can't be controlled. Coming from a dictator, it's definitely past the point of no return. And just even, I barely watched the news, but I turned on CN, whatever the fuck, the TradFi fucking news. And this is like the conversion of like where everyone's starting to talk about it. The FOMO's kicking in again. 100K is like a round big number for like smooth brains to understand. Like 100K equals a lot of money. And this definitely, and XRP's down. So like nature is healing. Like it is it is definitely a really bullish time for, and I know a lot of builders have been working diligently on so many different like things in the Bitcoin ecosystem. And one thing that comes a part of building is like timing releases, because unfortunately in this space, you get some really good tech. And if you just time it not in the right window, you could miss the big upswing and what everyone on your team has been working for. So this is giving a green light to a lot of builders, and I've been seeing a lot of cool things coming up. So it is definitely going to be a fucking crazy 2025. And yeah, I'm definitely having FOMO for people that are like in Miami celebrating this, but I told myself no more conferences, heads down, and just been trading, and happy that I am doing that, because there's a lot of fees and there's a lot of trading happening right now. Definitely managing some LP positions on some other chains, which has been pretty crazy to see. We had the Hawk 2 token. Did you see any of that? Farmer, Matt?
I saw it go down.
Dude, that was pretty crazy. The guy that helped launch the token was like saying some pretty, dude, I'm pretty sure that dude's going to go to jail. But that was
All right, actually, I do want to know, Bunzi, who is the guy that launched the token?
man, this is a recorded space, bro. No, I don't know.
It's not that other guy that launched the 72 other influencer coins, right? What is his name?
Oh, I know. I don't know. Yeah.
There's that one dude. He's basically become a meme now. I swear. Man, I forget his name. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. But
Farmers the Fed.
Look, I'm at his house right now. The boys are waiting for him, and we're about to lock him up. Yeah, it's just crazy how these pre-sales for celebrity meme coins still happen. Look, ground up distribution for tokens makes the most sense for meme coins. Bundling and stuff. It's happened in the past, right? Like Bunzi, Pepe wasn't necessarily the cleanest launch from what I understand, and you know much better than I do in terms of because you were like there on the ground floor when it happened. But I think if someone were to look at Pepe back then, they would have been like, "Oh, damn, the team has like such a high amount of tokens out here," but they were like distributing slowly, and I guess they ended up like liquidity providing, and then they just turbo G'd it at one point, right? And then
Yeah, they turbo G'd it a lot throughout that process, but that's where this whole thing kind of everything gets blurry because like people will justify things in so many different ways. But yeah, it's great for teams to have allocation because for that reason. But then there's, oh, the team has too much allocation, and people will just say narratives in so many different ways. But I think what stays true is like the the things that just come out of thin air that don't have that much hype around them, and those tend to remain dominant. But what Pepe did was just literally insane. And I still think it's off the back of what Bohm did. That pre-sale from Dark Farms, that literally the quickest token to reach $1 billion market cap, kicked off this, because there's been Pepe tokens before. There's been a bunch of this shit. But Bohm was like insane. I think to this day, even with Pump Fun, it's the quickest to $1 billion market cap. And that was just, I think, set
yeah.
the tone.
Bohm as a ticker, like usually you would think like, oh, you need to have some sort of like memetics. It's got to be funny. It's got to be cultural. It's got to be this. It's got to be that. It's got to be a cult community. It's got to be TikTok identifiable. But I think the long story short is, look, degens will degen into anything that keeps moving up in price. They don't really care. Look, long term, if you want to be safe and secure with your bags, of course, I think it's important to have some of these pillars. So it depends on what your style of meme coin gambling really is. Are you gambling on the Murad thesis? Are you gambling on the pump fund thesis? Are you gambling on the TikTok thesis? Are you gambling on the cabal? There's a lot of ways to gamble here, right? Is the long story short. And they all seem to have very similar success rates, quite frankly, with one another. And I would even say like you're probably gonna lose money in pump fund more than you are in other examples because it just happens on a day-to-day basis that everything just goes to zero, and maybe there's one standout on a monthly basis or like a bi-monthly basis, or like I don't know. I saw NFT boy tweet out an interesting tweet. He's just like, we haven't had a mega cook pump fund coin in a very long time, and I think after the Huck Tua token, I think we deserve like something, over the like I don't know if it's gonna be Christmas theme or New Year's theme, but like we're getting into this kind of end of year season where everyone wants to make absolutely the most amount of money that they can before the year end closes, and then sell by December 31st to fund their New Year's Eve expenses and resolutions for next year. But
And
I
you
don't know,
wonder
like
why that is just the textbook exit liquidity plan. It's just, and that's why I'm like just so bullish on Bitcoin. It's so like obvious it hurts that all of these
it
other
moves
tokens,
it moves so slow that it hurts, quite frankly.
but it's like a feature still, not a bug. It's saved me from trades. It's if you're chasing trades, you're going to lose. It's just a matter of time. It's the very small percentage that get these big wins, and that's what keeps everyone buying these scratchers on this bullshit. But like just holding Bitcoin, you could have outperformed like a majority of the trades that people are like nickel and diming. And then you have to manage those positions as well. So I think maybe it's me just coping as well because like this last week, I like went down an XRP rabbit hole and definitely just overtraded myself. And it just was a good reminder of just, yo,
Is TLDR on the XRP meme stuff? Is it just all dead by now? XRP price nukes, so I think Dev might have rugged. Ripple might have started selling a little bit more.
yeah, I have no
Um,
idea. The volume just went down and I just was like, fuck it. I stopped paying attention and just left all the dust in my shit because there's
go
definitely been some bags on Sol that like I sold that I should have just kept the dust.
But the other part that you mentioned too is like there's this value to your Bitcoin assets. I think you brought it up a little bit. Last week I talked about like how I was recovering like padding sats with LIFO FIFO's tool,
Mm-hmm.
which actually got me somewhere around like zero point 0.1 BTC from all of my wallets, which is not a I mean, that's not a small amount of money,
No,
especially
that's
as Bitcoin
fucking
is 103K. But the more beautiful piece more recently is I had a bunch of minting wallets that were just like holding single assets just from like probably April 2023, if not March or even February. And so I think this was all just like Sparrow wallets or something like that. And I had them in like individual keys. And I looked at them and I'm like, oh damn, I guess I must have imported the keys and sold it over the last year and a half. And I just kept tallying and tallying. And dude, it took me 3 hours to get through all of these wallets because there was just that many.
dude. That's
But
so
I
funny
found
you mentioned
I
Sparrow
found
wallets.
dust. You won't believe how much dust I found in hundreds of wallets. 0.28 BTC.
Oh my dude, that's so funny you mentioned Sparrow. I just went down that rabbit hole. Raf reached out and was like, yo, can you add Sparrow to Laser Eyes? We want to do it on the auction side. I was like, all right, yeah, let's see what that would look like. And opened up my old Sparrow, and that's when Bitcoin Punks was going, and fucking what was it? Ordinal's bot went down, and everyone was like, Reggie, and I have this wallet of just a whole bunch of invalid Bitcoin Punks that are just chilling. And yeah, dude, Sparrow's fucking actually still a super dank wallet, especially for UTXO management.
Yeah, I
Dude,
know a bunch of pro users. I don't know, all of the OGs of OGs. Robert's not in the audience. He just manages every single transaction on his Sparrow, and I'm just like, dude, you're nuts to be like managing your UTXOs like this.
dude, it's no, it's like quite the opposite. Actually, like when I was first doing it, it made no sense. Obviously, it was long, but now using it, it's like UTXO management is people. It's for obvious reasons. It's a bit confusing, and it's just that. But like visualizing it and seeing it, and then being able to know what part of the address they're at, and it's crazy, dude. I've been going through wallets myself, just trying to clean up when fees are low, and yeah, I highly recommend people to check out Sparrow. If UTXO management has become a thing where you need to split off some assets, or if like somehow, because I had some atomical shit. I had one UTXO that was 546 sats, so like the indexer and the wallets would see it as, but it had 3 different inscriptions in it. And and when you're sending Bitcoin, like that was one good thing about Xverse separating the two. Like if you started with the Ordinals wallet or Unisat, there's a good chance that like some of your UTXOs have some
Oh,
shit in
dude,
it.
I have a story that you might like, but like I received a UTXO, a single UTXO. Oh, I think it was like somewhere around 1 BTC, probably from an exchange or something like that. And it has 819 inscriptions on it. and I can't
What?
and I can't spend it. I can't spend it on Magic Eden. I can't
Well,
spend it
that's
on
you
Sappho. I
shouldn't. Don't
can't
spend
spend
it.
it
What are
on
you thinking?
Liquidium.
Because, dude,
Oh,
you got to
dude,
divide it out.
I can't. This
Yes,
is
you
just
can.
BRC 20. The BRC 20. Like I just looked through it, and it's just some obscure BRC 24 tickers that are absolutely worthless and zero, right? And because BRC 20 is a count model, it's not even my tokens. It's just
Are they invalid BRC20?
they're just receipts.
Yeah, so they're invalid. Damn, that's dude. This is the I hate to, but this is one of the things
Yeah,
that
like
people
Luke.
forget. There is
This
only
is this is what Luke Dash Jr. Like was literally talking about. Like all of this spam in all like literally within our Bitcoin is gonna be moving around left and center. This BRC 20 thing is a curse, isn't it? These ordinals are a curse, especially when you get thousands of ones.
no, like straight up though. Like I hate to break it to all of us, but like it is crazy. Like the amount of shit that, that is in that's why people are mining these things too, because a lot of people lose them in transactions, and the rare sats is still a thing to be mining. But like Billy was even saying that he was doing some mining and straight up got a sub 1K inscription from mining.
Yeah, that's right. I know Billy. It wasn't for mining. because that
Sorry,
generated
panning or whatever the fuck.
panning.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah.
was from panning that he was getting inscriptions and stuff. I do wonder if there's a point in time where these exchanges start to dig into their piles of Bitcoin and start to say, ah, look, there's a Bitcoin shroom right there, or there's a node monk right there. We should take that sat and
I don't know,
swap it out.
dude. These centralized exchanges are dealing with way more than, but they could, dude, just hire fucking. But dude, one thing
Yeah, I mean,
actually,
look,
the alpha,
hire me as an ordinals and runes consultant, and give me look. I'll take a 50% cut on anything that I find within your Bitcoin.
69%. But no, the alpha really, if you have a lot of UTXOs and like when you want to consolidate them, that actually costs you quite a bit. But if you send them to Coinbase and have them do, they don't like price in the consolidation of UTXOs yet. Last time, or I did it a few months ago, but if you, for example, if you have a zero point 0.1 Bitcoin with a bunch of UTXOs in it, if you just send those to Coinbase, you don't have to pay the fee to get them all consolidated. And
But I'm still paying the transfer, like I'm still paying the mempool fees
yeah,
for
no,
each and
yeah, it
yeah.
was for I had things getting sent to that wallet, so you have to set it up in that way.
Got
You have
it,
to kind of
got it, got
have
it,
to
got
set
it.
up in that way. But
Yeah, that's right, that's right. I think if you're expecting a lot of small UTXOs to hit, you might as well just set up your receive address to be a centralized exchange.
For
exactly.
what it's worth, like when these liquidity pools start to pop up on mainnet on Arch, you'll be able to do the exact same thing where you can, deposit those UTXOs as a liquidity provider and then withdraw all of them out in one transaction, and that'll combine them.
Oh, nice. That's
Yeah.
actually pretty good. That's actually super helpful for people building apps that have some sort of micro fee, whether it's like a dollar or two, three. I guess the question is who's paying for the consolidation on the other side to because exchanges in this case will be paying for the consolidation. But in this case, if it's just all going into an Arch address, or it's still a Bitcoin address, but who's going to pay for the consolidation on that address?
It happens up front when the person signs the PSBT. There's a fee UTXO that pays the Bitcoin network for both the combining and then eventual splitting at
Oh,
the
got it,
at the
got it, got
eventual
it.
settle
Okay,
transaction.
interesting, interesting. Yeah. Oh, okay. I actually like that. It's definitely cleaner from to hold just one large GTXO. Obviously, kind of ruins the amount of transactions, as far as I know, that you can do. I can't necessarily buy 4 to 10 node monks from different wallet addresses with a single UTXO, unless. But apparently, there's something going on that miners are going to start letting you do that. I don't really know, to be honest. Bunzi, are you familiar with that? I can't buy 9 items if I just have one UTXO right now.
no, not in one block.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to. It's like a good analogy is say you want to buy some candy and you have $100 bill and there's 3 stands and you're like, oh fuck, you have to that UTXO, that $100 bill, you have to go buy it and then break it into like 20s.
But that's what I was thinking is eventually I think there's going to be a system that allows you to spend the unconfirmed balance that is coming back to
Yeah,
you
you can
by
chain them. You can
yeah,
chain,
chain
yeah,
yeah, chaining, that's what it's
yeah.
called.
So you
Yeah.
can chain like PSBTs to like only sign for the returned ones. But
It's called child pays for parent. So you
mhm.
basically take the state transitions within the block and you can chain them together. And then you can almost within a certain degree see into the future as like when that's going to settle in the block because you'll have so much fees in that chain that it'll most likely get mined by the miners before other smaller fee transactions.
Got it. Yeah, look, we're dealing with Bitcoin, so we're dealing with UTXOs. Look, you can love them, you can hate them. Certainly not perfect from a user experience perspective, but it is what it is. We're on the biggest chain. We're on the $2 trillion blockchain, and I think most people are happy about that. There's actually quite a lot of interesting tools being built around UTXO management. I know a handful of teams, one of them being Satonomy, that was building something to manage your UTXOs. Exactly what we talked about, Bunzi. They don't have a padding sats stripper just yet, but they do have an ordinals and runes recovery system. I think it's just ordinals, but Yeah, they have a system that allows you to recover. Actually, I'm pretty sure I did see their most recent post that they're also doing padding stats recovery. Yeah, it's awesome to see these tools being built because I think they'll come in handy down the line. Would love to just add people from the audience if they want to come up to and just open the floor. And I'm chatting about UTXO management and maybe just not necessarily enough about the Bitcoin price. So it's yeah, maybe the vibes have been too boring. But yeah, let's bring some people up. I don't know, Bad Brothers, if you're available or anybody else that wants to
Yeah.
hop up.
Also, if anyone knows about the Magic Eden airdrop, that shit, like, I have 97% on my diamond bonus progress bar. And dude, I'm trying to fucking figure out how to get that thing to 100. And I bought a bunch of runes yesterday and it didn't even move up.
Oh, is that how it
I don't
works? If you
know.
don't cross to the 100, then no, there's no way.
I
I
don't
think
know.
that's the amount of diamonds that you can obtain in your bonus amounts. Bunsy, you're fine, man. You have enough
Man,
time.
I got a nice allo compared to a lot of Solana people that were showing off there. I'm pretty happy with this ME thing.
Yeah, it seems like quite a lot of Solana people that did not trade thereafter in Bitcoin definitely are like on the more disappointed side. Now, in terms of the ME token itself, if we just even think about this, the unhappy people are the ones with no allo to begin with. So it's just you can sell, but it's $5. Go for it. So I think like in most cases here, I'm feeling reasonably optimistic that ME will perform quite well over a multiple month scenario situation. I think the benefit that it has is the hype token just it's just like it's the smoothest curve you could ever see, honestly. Obviously, Emmy is a little bit different or has the potential to be a little bit different, but it certainly doesn't hurt that you have hype at, I think, 11 billion FTV. And I think as of right now, based on like pre market, it would put Magic Eden Emmy at I think, a 3.6 billion FTV with around a 500 mil market cap. Yeah, I mean, that 500 mil market cap seems a little low to me, but maybe I'm not thinking about this correctly. I think it has the opportunity to hit a billion, but yeah, $10 per Emmy is my target basically.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna hold it for a little bit if it's not $10 off the bat because runes are still very cheap, and I feel like if they're gonna be one of the number one runes dexes, and what do you call? I don't know. I feel like people forget how crazy things got last cycle, and it's just I feel like we barely started. Besides the Bitcoin price for sure.
Yeah, you could almost say that Magic Eden is trying to become the Uniswap and NFT platform of Bitcoin. Look, whether the market believes that narrative, it's a bigger, it's a different story. But you can't really argue with the fact that Magic Eden absolutely cooks on fees with 2% per
Yeah.
transaction. And
That is
this is
literally
not going to
insane.
go down, man. This is not going to go down. NFTs are coming back, ordinals are coming back. So, what do you expect for a marketplace token literally that earns fees from that in a very clear way? OpenSea is dead. Come on, like, it's a monopoly at this point.
Yeah, it is fucking insane that they are charging that, like, the fees on runes right now is just insane. On that last big rip, like, they are printing. And so I pinned to the top. This is the progress bar I'm talking about. I bought a fucking good amount of runes yesterday and it didn't even move. Is this shit
I
done?
don't even know where are you even seeing that.
If you go to Magic Eden, click the side little wallet thing, or hover over your diamond bonus progress thing. It's at the bottom under support, like on Magic Eden, not the. Here, let me. Did you not see it? Fuck. Maybe only the poor see it.
I think you have to do. It's not just volume. I think you have to do different tests too to fill that up, right? Like you have to. I think some of the things are listed was place a what do you call like a bid instead of just buying an NFT off the floor type of thing and things like that. I remember seeing when you clicked into that. So yeah, I don't
Ah,
No, but my diamonds haven't budged like in the last forever, and I've been buying hella runes.
Huh. All right. Damn.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I think they said that they would try and reward runes traders retroactively, but I actually don't think runes. Yeah, I can't say that I've seen a lot of my diamonds grow when I do trade or buy runes.
Huh.
I could be wrong though.
I just looked at my diamonds, and I don't know. When they first came out, I was at like 300K. Then it's been at like 270K, and now I just looked again, and it's back at 300K. So I don't know if that was from runes or something else.
No, I've definitely gotten 0, and I've traded lots of runes.
Dude, I
Uh,
floored so many runes, bro. Why can't I have 100%? I I deserve this, Magic Eden.
We're so back when we're complaining about free money. I love it here. All I know is I remember Looks Rare a long time ago, and they sucked, and Magic Eden doesn't suck, so I think it's going higher. I agree.
Lord, because you were around in the looks rare era of tokens, or yeah, that era of NFT tokens, there was that other marketplace. Is looks a separate token from Rari token?
Yeah, I
By the
think
way,
that wasn't that Rarible or
That's
whatever.
Rarible.
Rarible. Okay, so can someone fill me in on what happened to NFTs when, and even just the market when Rari and Looks did their TTs?
I feel
Like,
like those didn't even. I know a bunch of people fucking made money, dude. It was like everybody was screaming, and I didn't know what the fuck was going on. But the platform sucked and it mooned right away, right? For people, they made fat bags. And then I think it went down from there. And then Looks Rare never really took off. I think Rarible and like Super Rare was more for like fine arts for a while. And then OpenSea was fucking the sauce, right? That's where everybody traded everything. I remember like cooking on NFTs after that though, but it was all on OpenSea. But like you said, OpenSea's dead. And Magic Eden's, I don't know, Magic Eden to me is like way more poised to do this type of airdrop than Looks Rare was. They just didn't have the market share at all. And everybody uses Magic Eden. So it's, I
Pwrd,
agree. Like,
I am curious, like, how do you like the user experience of Magic Eden? Context here is, I remember using OpenSea once or twice, maybe 3 times. Like, I wasn't a big NFT trader, so I wasn't really like familiar what things need to be present, and I'm pretty comfortable with Magic Eden right now. I think it has a pretty dynamic UX. There's still some things that I'm just like, this is frustrating,
Bro,
or
this
whatnot.
UX sucks, dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
just give me 3 more percent, and then the UX would be dope.
no, for
Lord,
real though, I think it's way better than anything we've had. I know a lot of people complain about bugs and this and that and the other, but to be real, we're way out of touch with technology and money because we're in crypto. So like everybody who's looking at it doesn't understand what it takes to build that platform out. And OpenSea was pretty fucking shit. Like I always had complaints, but it was the only one. It was like a monopoly. So now everybody's, oh, why isn't this there? Why doesn't it work perfectly? And it's, dude, it's a better experience than any platform I've used. So I don't know.
what did you end up ever using Blur? So
Yeah.
dude, I was like AMM, Dexes, DeFi, that sort of stuff, the Ponzi game player of last cycle, and I did not really touch NFTs whatsoever. But I remember one of my friends just, dude, you got to buy these like NFTs. I'm just like, what? Where? Like, he's like, you got to use Blur, and I'm like, I go into this UX, and I'm just like, bruh. Where do I press the buy button? I don't even know what to do next. Like it was just that complicated. So to give you context, like these UXs may seem organic to those who have been sitting in Web3 for a long time, but you ask any random stranger, just okay, here's the Blur UX. Go ahead and buy yourself a XYZ Pudgy Penguin, for example. Please do that and figure out how to do that. I bet you it's going to take them at least 5 minutes to figure out how to do it.
100%. And dude, like Magic Eden is more accessible, at least where you can get on there and there's support also, by the way. Like I've had to use support with them several times and they're always like same day, somebody's there fixing it. So it's crazy. It's like an actual company. All these other ones felt like Ponzi's. It's all a Ponzi if it's not
Yeah,
Bitcoin, but still.
you know what other companies have zero absolute support? Coin Market Cap, which is
Yeah,
basically like,
what's the ticket
oh my
number?
god. Another one too is like Twitter has zero support. Every time my account gets suspended, banned, whatever,
You
it's
need to
like,
DM the premium
oh my
No,
account. If
like
you DM premium, they'll take care of your Twitter problems. You have
com-
to
oh
DM
combine
god.
that
Okay,
with the
well that's
fact that Magic Eden supports like 7 different chains too, like from Solana, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Base, Arbitrum, Say, all those other
that part.
ones. When OpenSea started supporting Polygon for the first time, it was a fucking nightmare. Like your NFTs got lost. You couldn't figure out how to swap between the two different chains. It was absolute dog shit. And then
They suck.
yeah, and like then Blur came out, which offered more of a pro style marketplace. But where they fucked up is they made so much, like they made the tokenomics such where the rewards to farm was so much more than what you were losing trading on the NFTs. So people were undercutting the floor on NFTs, just fucking the NFT market. And then LooksRare came out and says, "Look, we're going to do the exact same thing, but we're not going to fuck the market. We're going to do a better tokenomics than what Blur did." But that never took on.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I
like
was
Blur was just a pre-Ponzi for Blast, by the way. Let's not forget that. With Magic Eden, me is me, Magic Eden. So I'm not worried about them putting out like another platform later. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. And I don't think their platform's going away, like all these previous platforms we've seen. So to me, it's yeah, $10.
yeah, no, they position themselves really well.
They supported ordinals first, OpenSea still don't have ordinals, and they're giving me free money, and it works well enough. No complaints about Magic Eden over here.
And you can
Shouts out
swap it
Magic
to
Eden.
pups. You can swap it to pups day one. It's a fact on chain. You could do that.
And if you look at all other platforms and protocols, the ones that are worth the most are the ones that have the best front end UXs that aggregate the most routes, right? So, like Jupiter, the aggregator, they're making way more money than Orca or Meteora simply because everyone uses Jupiter. Same thing with, that's just how it goes. The hype, exactly the same. They're going to be the front end for this high performance, non KYC DeFi hub. It's going to be a great UX. It's all you need. So, they're therefore worth more than Arbitrum, theoretically.
Yeah, pump my bags, bro. All of that. Pump me bags.
I do also like the Emmy ticker and Emmy as a character figure because it's almost like it's almost like mimetic in nature, probably by design to make it somewhat of a meme coin, but it's got that energy. I like it. I like it. Yeah, kudos to Magic Eden for doing a hell of a job managing 7 chains, having customer support, being one with the degens, being one with Bitcoin very early.
And charging
Like,
2.5% on every
they
transaction.
Let's
deserve
go.
every last one of those sats, Bunsy. All right,
They can
all
market
right.
make me with that. And I need them to market make me to the moon because they have to do that because it's my bags.
Because it's my bags.
We worked for me, dude, for sure. We all worked hard for me, and they need to work for our bags now. It's their job, and they're going to do it.
Yeah, where the fuck is this 3%? I give you 2.5% every transaction. Let's round up. Give me the 3, and we'll be good.
Everybody go start a customer support ticket on magiceden.us and tell them they need to give Bunsy his 3%.
Dude, yeah, that would be lit. And I'll give you 2.5% of every ticket that is sent.
I see Diego
Um,
down there. You want to come up, Diego, and talk about a little bit of BitFlow aggregation?
Maybe not. Maybe not this time. All right, they're chefing, they're deving, busy builders. Yeah, Bitflow has something coming. One, their stacks aggregator from a DEX perspective, but they've also been doing something interesting to my knowledge with Arch. I saw the announcement, I believe, yesterday that they're trying to become, if I'm not mistaken, also a DEX aggregator. Oh, Diego's coming. All right, I'll let him speak. Diego, what's up? How are you, man? It's been a while since you've been up on the show. Oh, did he rug? He came up and he came down. Yeah, why don't we give that another try, Diego? Maybe you have to close your X. Oh, I think you're good. Hey, man.
In my awesome Miami traffic on the way to Inscribe in Miami in South Beach. Sorry for any noise on the car, but I've been listening to the call and it's pretty awesome. So thanks for pulling me up.
Yeah, Matt got into it that you guys have something going on with Arch. Want to know what you guys are doing. Yeah, would love to hear the direction that you're taking. Is it going to be like a DEX on top of Arch? Is it going to be a DEX aggregator on Arch? What's the story here?
Yeah, so you guys talked about Jupiter. I think that's a good benchmark and a good example. We did start as a DEX. We started as a stable swap as well on Stacks, and then we moved to a DEX aggregator because of the pain point. Like you guys mentioned, user experience. That's a big. Like, how do we deliver the best trading experience? And jumping around from one DEX to the other, it's a pain in the ass. So what we first did on Stacks, we aggregated all liquidity pools, Arcadico, Velar, Alex, and we put it in one simple platform similar to Jupiter that you can find the best rate. So not only are we aggregating pools, but we're also multi-hopping, meaning like we're creating new routes that doesn't exist, so that offers the users more liquidity. So for example, you can go from Welsh to Stacks to ABTC and so forth. What we're doing now is the same with runes. If you want to trade runes for BTC, maybe you go on DotSwap, or maybe your other option is on Magic Eden. That's all we can do. But imagine being able to trade dogs for pups, pups for cats for roos, and so forth, without having direct liquidity. And that's part of the aggregator and the multi-hops. So we became the number one DeFi protocol on Stacks by daily active users because of that reason. Like exactly what you guys mentioned, you go to one place, you find the best rate. Our mission is to become the number one aggregator on Bitcoin as well. You got now, it's even more fragmented. You got meta protocols, side chains, you have Arch, you have Saturn, you have DotSwap, you have Magic Eden. Our goal is to make it easy for users to come in and just find the best rate, find the best route, and exchange it either on layer 1 or on layer 2, depending on users' preference. Many users may want to are comfortable with bridging in order to.
Diego rugging for anyone else?
Yeah, he's rugging. He's under a tunnel here.
No problem. Can you guys hear me?
You're good now. You're
Is it
good. I
bad?
think you're back.
All right. Yeah, but the goal is for us to aggregate the liquidity across Bitcoin layers as well. And the move to Arch is essential because it allows us to replicate this aggregating model on Arch network on layer 1 and give the user more options. And I think that's the goal at the end of the day.
Yeah, I like that direction. I thought I saw something way back when. I think now you can bridge runes to Stacks with X-Chain, I believe. I brought some over just to test it out. Not sure if that was the right way to do it, but I know Bitflow was going to work on this intermediary solution where you could provide liquidity on Stacks with this kind of pseudo permissioned network that executes the buys for you. Is that still happening, or
Yes,
has
yes. So look,
okay?
yeah, like you said, it's an intermediate solution. We're working with Pontes, and we have over a dozen of the most trusted entities that you know, from the wallets they use, lending platforms, minting platforms. I can't give it out any names, but it's all of the top tools that you're using on a day-to-day. They're signers. They're backing this Pontes bridge, and this will allow users to bridge over, provide liquidity, and swap. And then within a few weeks, you're going to be able to do a swap without having to bridge. So everything happens under the hood. The AMM right now is on the Stacks layer, but the user will come in with Xverse wallet, native Bitcoin assets, swap, buy, trade, without even having to touch the Stacks token or the Stacks protocol, without even knowing what's happening under the hood. And that's part of the infrastructure that's being built right now. We are on a private access list, and then in a couple weeks, around December 16th, 17th, we're going to open to the public.
Got it. If you need another person on that private access list, happy to be on it. Unless I missed a message from you, which honestly my DMs are just so crazy these days. It's
Probably did, but I
go.
fully follow up on that. But yeah, that's the goal. I think it's all about user experience, and I agree. I think 2.5% may sound a lot, like you guys were mentioning, but if that's working and they're delivering a good tool, you guys mentioned customer service. I agree 100%. A lot of Web3 companies are missing the basic Web2 strategies that led a lot of fintech companies to grow. Customer service can be like 50% of the headcount in many of the fintech companies that you know today. And that is important if we want to onboard the next 1 billion users. It sucks having to go through all these hoops Discord, Telegram. You don't know where your ticket is at. So props to Magic Eden for supporting that, not only on Bitcoin, but across multiple chains. That is not easy. Decentralization does not mean lack of customer service. And I think we're heading in the right direction.
Yeah, no, appreciate that, Diego. This is all, I think, a net positive from a UX perspective, even if it is a stopgap solution until Arch mainnet. I think that that is still quite compelling to see how it'll work, and yeah, excited to see when that goes live. And I know SBTC and Stacks are also coming up in on the Stacks ecosystem. Look, Bitcoin L2s are going to have their moment. They might not necessarily be the most favorable for people holding runes and ordinals, but anything that is DeFi on Bitcoin will likely sit on like Bitcoin L2s, like Stacks, like Bob, like various other chains that are accruing significant TVL to be the best place for Bitcoin to operate. But I do think that for most of us here, most of us on the space, the Bitcoin L2s may not be ideal for us as a user to go over there and make that our home. I think a lot of people are just much more comfortable in taking on Bitcoin's trust assumptions, which are the most secure, the most decentralized, rather than some level of risk, whether it's like a sequencer risk or chain risk and unilateral exit, et cetera, if a chain goes down. And yeah, there's just a lot of like things that can go wrong. I think the most interesting part is we haven't necessarily seen a chain go down at size and of scale to have to go backwards. I know Ethereum had one of these moments where they had to revert the chain, which was probably like the biggest one that is maybe not well known anymore, but it was a big deal back then to reverse the state. But yeah, I'm genuinely happy that we haven't necessarily had blockchain failures, so to speak, or like blockchains like go down for significant periods of time. I know Solana had a couple of outages, but it's just normal because Solana's in beta, and I think it still technically claims that it's. Wait, no, Token 24.9. I think they said that they're officially out of beta, or maybe out of alpha, whatever they want to call it. I know FunkyBit just joined. Matt, you mentioned them to me last time. I think FunkyBit tried to come up, but they weren't able to join. I'm looking at your banner. You're putting dogs on Bitcoin. I have no idea what that means, but would love to have you explain it.
Sure. Can you guys hear me?
You're good, sir.
Cool. Hi, Andy Lawrence here, one of the founders at FunkyBit. Yeah, putting dogs on Bitcoin. We've been building on Arch, I think, since about May or so, and we're live on testnet now. So far, since last week, I think we've done about 90,000 cross-chain transactions. And what FunkyBit is, really briefly, it's a cross-chain liquidity protocol, bridging, when I would say bridging, bringing Bitcoin, connecting them to other chains. And what we do is we deploy smart contracts on these different chains, and then we have a high performance sequencer that's trust minimized connecting them. And we built on top of Arch because we don't have to worry about a bridge or anything there. And the product that we're coming to market with, which gets to the dogs on Bitcoin, we could do a lot of different things with this product, with this architecture, but we're coming to market with a meme coin launchpad. So a pump fun for Bitcoin, because we thought that was the area that we could catch some fire earliest. And the meme coin launchpad will have stable coin liquidity pools because we've connected Arch Bitcoin L1 to base. And so you won't have to burn Bitcoin in order to mint or buy these meme coins. And we're talking runes standard there. So that's basically dogs on Bitcoin.
I understand kind of the pump model is all about graduation and such. So is the thought process that things will graduate and then once they do, they get etched and distributed thereafter, or
Yeah,
curious.
it's a good question. The model that we're using is that the etching takes place at the inception of the bonding curve. And the reason for that, you could do it at another point, but as runes names are scarce resources and they are also unique. And if you waited until you graduated to do the etching, someone could snipe you on the name, which we think would be a big problem.
The counter argument to this is I just view rune names as contract addresses. I thought about this and I've stated it before in a couple of other shows where you can have like ticker Pepe and then you have like ID or some random characters thereafter. What is it called? The
Yeah, yeah,
vanity
yeah,
address. So you could do something like that where it's like the official, graduated token, and sure, there's probably going to be dozens of others, so you probably need to play ball with marketplaces to verify, like Magic Eden has recently done.
yeah.
But it could be an interesting way to go about it.
No, actually, that's interesting to hear from you because I think we've spent a lot of brain damage thinking about this very issue, pounding our heads against the wall. And it's the conclusion, we came to a different conclusion, but it's hardly definitive. We spoke to a bunch of people about it. I think one of the problems is, let's say you did that, and instead of going with a unique name that you selected yourself, you took a reserve name, as they call it in the protocol, and you just use your unique ticker. I think the problem is that you'd have to get all the you have to get the indexers to adopt that scheme, and then you'd need changes like in like wallets and the like. And so it might be a pretty big lift. Otherwise, someone's going to look in their wallet and they're going to have a rune and it's just going to be like an alpha string. And that was one of the big considerations when we thought about it. But I agree.
Yeah,
I
I like
mean,
the way that I was thinking about it is I think most wallets still use the first four as well. Actually,
mhm.
that's not true. Magic Eden uses a full name, so that's
Yeah.
yeah. You would have basically alpha string, so you would almost have to change the off-chain recognition of this contract
Right.
address, right? Because then it's not really on-chain.
Yeah, that was kind of the piece that kind of really killed it in our eyes. But I think if there were a difference of opinion in the community, the other way is actually in some ways cooler, but it has this problem with the naming.
Yeah, yeah. The counter argument to this DGods, Bitcoin DGods, they have quite a low resolution inscribing image to the actual chain itself. And then
Hmm.
the marketplaces have chosen to adopt a high resolution off chain image to the asset itself. So it's the DGod IP is there, but it's not one to one with what you're seeing on these marketplaces. But the ownership is still there, but the art is off chain at high resolution, on chain at low resolution. So it's one of those things here as well where the ownership is on chain, the nomenclature or kind of the common name for it is off chain. It's a tricky one. I'm still not entirely convinced that it's a big deal. I think as long as it's verified, like even what is verified, like a Jupiter list or something like a Magic Eden list, is still like an off-chain situation.
Yep.
Decentralization and what needs to be on-chain itself is like a spectrum, and so I think it's
I think our concerns are not so much on the decentralization part so much as the UX, the user experience part, and what we could get away with there. But the good news is, if we launch one way, we could change it pretty easily if we can get support for another method, and we'd be in favor of that. But I going that route to begin with and fighting a lot of the what existing like wallet infrastructure and stuff like that could be a very painful experience, I think, both for users and for us, I might note. But I'd love to discuss it further at some point because this is like one of the principal issues that we've been debating internally.
yeah, no, that sounds good. I am genuinely curious and excited to see Funky Bit on Arch testnet. It's an incentivized testnet, so the more things you touch, the more things you use, the better. Just putting that out yet again. Don't fade this one.
Yeah,
Actually use it.
and Farmer, we're actually on testnet now, but the piece that we have on now is like the cross-chain liquidity protocol. So you can do like a native Bitcoin versus USDC swap very rapidly, also sub-millisecond. And we're going to be probably coming to the testnet with the launch pad no later than the end of this month. So then we'll have both pieces in place on the testnet.
Love it. No, appreciate the I
Thanks for the
appreciate you
question.
coming up and chatting more about this.
No, that's great.
Yeah. What else are we missing? Shoot, I had some notes in my original post. Um, Bitcoin meme coins. Yeah, we talked about that. What about like how's everyone feeling about like new ordinal mints? So I was on the ordinal show yesterday, and Leo and everyone else in the audience was talking about this. We haven't necessarily seen any new mints that really push the boundary of what's possible. You know, we haven't necessarily seen this curve back to where things were way back when. I know Maven's bot is doing a 10K Wizards, and I think each of the 10K pieces are, if I'm not mistaken, like user contributed. Bunzi, have you taken a look at the Maven's bot Wizards 10K yet?
I have not. I do think that just off the back of the Taproot Wizards, it's like gonna indirectly just print, just because like people see wizards and they'll like get a little bit confused and it will cause some controversy. And
Yeah, the question is which one of them really comes out first, right? There are less Taproot Wizards, but Udi said no one wants a Taproot Wizard. But does anybody want a Maven's bot Wizard? I think the answer is yes.
I think, yeah, I think the word wizard in Bitcoin, people just like think there there's money involved. So um I'm stoked to see the FUD. I think Udi will come out and start like, I don't know. But yeah, the OpCat whole thing, the quantum cats. I love businessman's FUD against Udi. That's always entertaining to see. And yeah, I don't know. I think what is the TLDR? Because I know there's the Wizard BRC20 token, correct? That's like getting ported to runes. And then there's a 10.
That one is actually most recently not as clear cut. They said the migration is underway, and then they said something about February 18th, and people have suggested that Udi and Maven are chatting with one another, and they have convinced each other to launch on the catnip token standard instead. And so everyone's just waiting in this mental asylum that Wizard continues to be. It still trades reasonably well in decent volumes as a BRC20, but no one really knows what the heck is going on, if the Bitcoin Wizards ordinal collection are getting any allocation. And then I think you had someone drop a witches token to all holders, which basically complicated the situation a little bit more. I don't know, Madison. I know you just joined. I don't know if you've been much closer to that whole piece of the puzzle.
Hi, GM, everyone. So for the witches, you said?
Yeah, I thought I saw something. There's Taproot witches, which are not from Maven, but there was this witches token. Yeah, I don't know. I'm spitballing here a little bit because I'm just equally as confused as probably every single holder.
The Bitcoin Wizards, I think it was like a project that like was like their friend or something that was doing the witches. I don't know if like it was them directly, but apparently like they thought of the idea before. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Kenny, I know you have your hand up and you just joined. Maybe you're much more closer to this. Love the shroom, by the way. Think they're going to be the Richard Mill of Bitcoin. They're going to be the alien. Like, basically, I just have this price target for shrooms at like $10 million plus. I might be crazy, but look, if this is the first OG collection on Bitcoin that has Bitcoin core constructs within it, it's just I'm just too bullish. But yeah, Kenny, going back, what's up?
Yo, what's up, guys? Definitely agree on your shroom take there. Absolutely love the shrooms. Yeah, just wanted to jump in and say I think Taproot Witches and the Dollar Witch token launched by, I think it's one of the head mods of Maven's Bitcoin Wizards. I don't think they're connected at all. I think the wizard holders, so like the current Magic Internet Money holders, those got allocation. And I think Bitcoin Wizard ordinal holders also got an allocation for this dollar witch, but I don't think they are connected at all to Taboo Witches. That's something completely different, I think. But very confusing, everything, all in all.
Yeah, especially that it's coming from one of the main mods. Just shows you that even those that believe in it are going mentally insane over and over again. I don't know if you have a take on what's going on with Wizard. Is it going to be a rune? Is it going to be a catnip? Any thoughts there? And I guess they also have this 10K collection coming out. So it's okay. Now they got a token. Now they got a 10K. But they also have the Bitcoin Wizards. They said that they were going to migrate to runes, and now they're not going to do it. So Magic Internet Money was happening with that ticker, but they paid half a BTC, if not a little bit more, to etch that ticker at the halvening block. What is your perspective on Wizard as a token? Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, I think it's a very difficult one, right? I'm very bullish on the ticker Magic Internet Money. I think we've had a lot of really poor runes that have done well. And I think Magic Internet Money is probably the best ever ticker for Bitcoin, right? Not regarding the team or anything, just the ticker itself just fits absolutely perfect to Bitcoin. And I think it would have done wonderfully. I really want to tread lightly here because I know it's like a difficult topic. I think with all this other stuff coming out, it seems, I just want to say, it seems a bit like they're trying to milk the brand. I'm not sure. That's just, I'm not connected or like in it any deeper. I'm not a big wizard holder myself. It's just what it feels like as an outsider. I think what they're doing with the 10K Ordinals collection looks actually really cool. I think they've gathered like a load of like artworks from the community, and I think they are selecting like the greatest artworks of the wizard style to be in the 10K, which I think is like a really cool incentive and just something to on the one hand honor like community's work and also have a community feeling. But I feel like everybody just wants Magic Internet Money, and I always feel if you hold it like a dangling carrot in front of someone for so long, it's just gonna make things more difficult, I feel like. Regardless, I still do think the collection is quite cool.
It sounds like what you're trying to say is Maven saying nobody wants Magic Internet Money, much like Udi always says, nobody wants a Taproot Wizard. Very interesting that you're going with the the similar philosophy.
Could they also be like waiting for a shorter rune characters to be unlocked? Like maybe they're
No, they've already etched the rune itself, Magic Internet Money, at the happening block, so they already have the preset token supply. Yeah, I think I will say just from personal experience with migrating pups from one token center to the other, it's not easy. One, you never have 100% of holders make it through, and two, it's not necessarily as simple as just keeping it open forever. As it stands, there is still some sort of custodial component. You can try and make it as safe and secure as possible, but there's always that level of risk in keeping it open 24/7 with a third party partner. Now they could be building this in house as well. It's very possible that they want to have their own unique experience, but doing it in a very safe, non-custodial nature is genuinely just not possible because smart contracts on Bitcoin just don't exist. Now, could you possibly do it through something like Arch? Probably yes, but again, that requires mainnet. So, hey, Matt, it sounds like you gotta get in touch with MavenSpot to get this across the board here, especially if they want to continue going down the rune side of things, because I think you guys can offer something quite interesting for them. But yeah, it's never easy. There's most people have these BRC20s as inscriptions. You have like dozens of them, hundreds of them. Yeah, it's just there's a maximum I think of 25 that you can include at a time. It's it's not fun. Long story short, it's not fun to migrate from one token standard to the other. It is friction, but we'll see how they get it done. Still super optimistic in Mavens, of course, as the OG meme wizard, and like Kenny said, really love the ticker name. I think Magic Internet Money is very true to being a meme coin on Bitcoin. Um, but big kind of question mark as to like why you need a 10K collection on top of this. I think for me that was the biggest surprise of all of this. But that being said, they're also going down in a way that I think we haven't necessarily seen, which is picking community basically art styles that align with the original meme, which is quite interesting. But to me, it's just choose one or the other. Don't promise both at the exact same time and not deliver on either side. So patiently waiting in the asylum to see what happens next. Still love both sides of the project. I think both can actually do reasonably well. They just I'm just surprised they're adding more to the plate. Given one of these things is hard enough, but if they pull it off, it hey look, it can be great.
I saw a post the other day that was like, they're building the strongest cult. The people who haven't left the asylum, just they're not going to leave. They have the highest conviction. Is Nomad still in there just running everything? Do you guys hang out in there?
So I'm not in the Discord. I'm in the Discord, but I'm not in the Discord. Yeah, just haven't really spent too much time in Discord recently. More so just Telegram and X. Just way too many platforms to manage, but I'm not the best person to follow along there. Yeah, just barely have enough time to live.
I used to go in there a lot because I thought I had 10,000 wizard, and then it ended up just being a receipt. So then after that, I just like stopped. But it was like pretty. It was pretty funny though. It really is just an asylum, and I don't know. Kenny, are you in there?
I'm not in there like a lot. I check in from time to see what's going on next. I think yeah, Nomad is still in there, and I think it's also his token, which is like the witch token. I'm not entirely sure. And I think what they were saying, but please don't quote me, is that you would need like to have dollar witch and maybe either the ordinal Bitcoin wizard or the wizard token to claim one of the new wizard ordinals, like the new Bitcoin wizard ordinals. It's getting really complicated now.
Yeah, that sounds more significantly more complicated than any Ponzi game that I've ever played, which means I'm probably going to be a loser if I try and understand the game theory behind it. I just like simplicity at the end of the day. Ponzi, like we're here. I know Magic Eden is doing a villa in Art Basel. There's inscribing Basel, inscribing Miami. I think I forget the name of it right now. I think it's happening today. Basel FOMO, yes, no, Bunzi.
That's a tough one. I've been making some progress, working on stuff, trading, dumping on the Basel crew. And then also, I do have to say that 100K in Miami getting broke was probably pretty lit. But then again, Web3 nerds don't know how to party that well. So like, there's like this. It's like a who knows. But Miami, like before I went for the first time for like funny enough, a Ripple event like years ago, is I was always like, Miami's whack, dude. Gym, tan,
Dan,
laundry.
you were part of XRP Army way back when, weren't you?
No, dude. No,
I
I
was.
wasn't. I wasn't. I was like a little soldier, little infantry. And then, but I just never thought I'd like Miami just because it's like very materialistic, very just gym tan lounge. I had this weird perception of it, but I went there and was like, holy fuck, dude. You don't need a passport to come here. This is so lit. Like, and that's the one part because Miami is sick. So, yes, FOMO, but I'm working like 3 times as hard knowing that I stayed home to not do it. So, the progress has been worth it. So, I'm stoked.
Yeah, I think I'm in a similar position where I'm like, do I wish I was flying there right now or yesterday or whatever the community is? I call it the Bitcoin traveling circus. Makes it there. Yeah, I think it would lead
Yeah,
to that, but
the circuit. Yeah,
yeah, the Bitcoin traveling circus. It's a great circus. Don't get me wrong.
yeah, but it's the
I
same
love,
contenders, bro.
but it's genuinely this. Yeah, usually it's the same group of people inscribing Basel. Ordinals Asia had a bunch of familiar faces, which is actually pretty impressive that people went all the way to Hong Kong for that. Like the dedication to Bitcoin and art on Bitcoin and meme coins on Bitcoin, unmatched, super bullish. I guess people are spending a portion of their bags to be hopping around and gathering more alpha and being community members, as we all love to be. So, look, I think it's great. If you really want to win in this space, I think you got to do everything it takes to succeed. And part of it also means like meeting and being friends with these people. So, I think it's a win. It's part of Web3 that I think is really special, that we get to blur the lines once in a while from this digital community on X, Discord, Telegram, and actually meet face to face. And maybe sometimes be surprised that there's a 75-year-old man that is a degen trader and he's out trading you, or some 13-year-old kid that's ripping meme coins and inscribing them way faster than you. So I think all walks of life are appropriate in CT and Web3. So I'm bullish. I'm bullish. Yeah, FOMO as well, though, but getting over it, working more. And there's just the job's not finished. Bitcoin's at 100K. This cycle is only getting started. Bitcoin meme coins are still a fraction of Ethereum, no longer XRP meme coins. Tron meme coins, I think, are still in a similar kind of market cap range, and Sol meme coins for sure still are the near term target for Bitcoin meme coins to start outperforming into. I think it'll happen. I think we all know the future. We all know that ordinals themselves and 10K collections on Bitcoin are and should be worth more than Ethereum 10K collections, but it's going to take some time, right? Ethereum had 7 years of head start here from crypto, or what is it, CryptoKitty days back in 2017, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 2016. Bunzi, do you know
What?
CryptoKitties when they
Crypto
came out?
kitties. Oh, dude.
I think it was like 20. That was 2016 cycle,
I
wasn't
think
it?
it's
2016,
2017. I think you're
2017. Yeah, yeah. So look,
okay.
they got a 7 year head start here. So
What
I
about
just like.
Counterparty though? That was 2014. That was like way before. When Counterparty run?
I actually do know that the counterparty devs are trying to make counterparty better. Some alpha there. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit more interest in counterparty all of a sudden. Bunzi, you're much more familiar in counterparty than I am, but I think there's still quite a loyal, hardcore cult-like community on it, isn't there?
Dude, that's all there is. It's the Rare Pepe community is like the only, and I say this and I mean it, is like Pups and Rare Pepe are the only groups that I'll use the word community around. It gets thrown around so lightly, and it's just a buzzword that attaches to everything so people can find another narrative. But the Rare Pepe community is the truest. Like, it's a bunch of very loyal and just really dedicated people that really enjoy what they do. And it's basically just a bunch of artists that like release stuff and they all just support one another and they just buy and sell each other's stuff. And it's fucking amazing. It is something like, if that is something you're interested in, if like you like Pepe and you like genuinely meeting people, there's a lot, like every BTC event, there's always a Rare Pepe, fake rare event. And it is genuinely some of the coolest people I've met. To cypherpunks, to like weird eclectic artists, like it brings artists from every walk of life drawing a Pepe in some way or another, or sculpting it, or doing something, making it's dope. It's definitely the coolest collection that I think I have is the Rare Pepes. And the fake rares is some really cool shit. But yeah, I don't know. I know the XRP or not. Wow, XRP on the mind. That's how down bad I am. The fucking counterparty, the other X.
XCP, I think, right?
It actually, yeah, yeah. They're doing like a new wallet, new stuff like that. But yeah, you have some of those original Nakamoto cards. You have some really crazy assets over there. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't really opened up my free wallet in quite some time. I should do that as I'm trying to like clean house. And I just connected fucking, I'm not kidding, 22 wallets to Magic Eden. And yeah, I gotta find, I know there's some more in some other browsers that I was just trying to quickly degen with. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna be up to. But no, 100K is FUD. I still think now we have the normies really paying attention. It's a round number for smooth brains and people to capitulate at of being like, wow, that's a lot of money. The normie texts are coming in.
Yeah, Bitcoin's too expensive now. It's just too expensive.
Dude, it's
we gotta change it. We gotta change the price. We gotta change how we represent price.
yeah, it's 0.1 mil. That's
How much is one sat in dollars? We gotta start using that.
yeah, we should. That's just right now it could be round math. I don't know. I'm pretty smooth brain when it comes to on the fly math, but one sat equals one sat. And I have a bunch of 546ers that are gonna all those BRC20 fucking invalid transfers are gonna that's my 401k.
One Satoshi is 9/100ths of a penny.
Dude, that's free.
Yeah, we gotta start. We gotta just
One
start.
Satoshi is a fraction of a penny.
So 1,000 Satoshis is about $1.
Yeah,
Whoa.
Bitcoin's free, baby. Bitcoin is
Yeah.
sats are free. Sats are free. Lindsay, why don't we start wrapping up the show? It was good hanging out with all you celebrating Bitcoin 100K day. I guess last night officially happened, but first time we get to celebrate it together here with Bonzi, Arch, and our lovely guests who've popped up and have been able to speak on the show. We will see you next Tuesday. Yeah, we'll see you next Tuesday, as well as Thursday, every single day, or every week. Oh my god, my mind is. Let's cut the show, Lindsay. All right, let's do this. Happy 100K day, baby. Happy 100K day. We got an outro track.
I thought so. I have it playing in my headphones and it's clearly not coming through, but it's a pump up song. You know what it is. All right, we'll catch you guys next Tuesday. It's not working. Peace.